Bienvenido! Welcome to the Jamie and Stephen Show. Let's talk movies, music, and magic. We're back with another episode. Hey, Stephen.
Hi, you okay?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Do you have a nice Christmas and New Year's?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes, can't believe it's 2024.
What was that you said right at the beginning?
Oh, welcome in Spanish.
Say it again.
Bienvenido.
Jamie spent the last 15 minutes practicing that.
No, I did not. I just wanted to double check that I was saying it right because it's been a while since I've spoken Spanish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, which is fitting for this week's episode because it's Three Caballeros.
Yeah?
Yeah? Or in Spanish, Tres Caballeros.
Oh, here she goes, showing off now.
Yeah.
What's it in French?
Trois.
Oh, the look of panic.
No, because caballero, I didn't know this. I always thought it was like another word for friends. Like I knew amigos was friends, but I thought caballeros might be another sort of way of saying it, and it's not. It's gentleman in Spanish, or can mean night, as in a night, not as in the sky.
Oh, so like
as in a night.
Sir.
You know, yes. So, yeah, but I don't know that word in French. So I can only say trois caballeros.
Although, what's it for gentleman? That'd be man, wouldn't it? What's...
Man is homme.
So that would be...
Trois hommes.
Trois. Do you know what? No one out there speaks French,
who cares?
so we won't know.
Anyway.
May or may not be right.
So, our first episode of 2024.
Yeah. We've lasted.
I know. We're still going.
Still going.
Which is good. It just shows we're just having fun, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. So, Three Caballeros. Will I do my IMDb synopsis?
Go on then.
Right, okay. So, for those who haven't watched it, because some people might not realise that A, this is part of the classics.
Yeah.
And B, might not have even heard of it because it's not common. Like, it's never really included in, like, montages of their classics.
Which is weird because the characters are.
Yeah.
You see the characters more than you see the film.
Yeah, the characters have featured in lots of other things over the years, but the film itself, no.
No.
Like, yeah, it's never really referenced. But, you know, it was a difficult time. You know, this was the last film released before the end of the war. The Second World War, that is. Sorry, World War II. But, yeah, so... IMDb synopsis. Donald receives his birthday gifts, which include traditional gifts and information about Brazil, which is hosted by Jose Carioca, and Mexico by Pancitto, who's a Mexican charro rooster. Which is sort of right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sentence, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to hear mine?
Go on then.
Donald's mates arrange a stag do for his birthday. Now, before, like...
It is like a
it's
stag
gonna
party,
make sense.
though.
It is going to make sense. So they have a cinema trip.
Yes.
Yes. There's then an exotic dancer.
Yes.
There's then games. The piñata.
Yeah.
There then is a story of kids who are turned away, which could be going to the clubs and getting turned away.
Yeah.
Then there's semi-naked ladies.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them.
There was.
And then Donald dances with a girl. We've all been there. And then finally, I wrote Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah, the very last bit.
Because he is up there with the stars, the flowers. For those who do not know what Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds means, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beatles fans will know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what?
Yeah. I did say.
That's probably your best one, I think. That's your best synopsis.
Do you know what? Weirdly, after I wrote that, I started writing synopsis for the other ones. Oh, it's all uphill from here, I can tell you. But that one, yeah, and when I was watching it, I was like, this is just a stag do. He's gone on a night out with his mates.
Yeah.
Like, we're one kebab away from being a night out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to obviously Donald's behaviour later in this episode because it's very bizarre behaviour. He doesn't behave like this in anything else.
Well, he's on a night out and he's probably had a drink.
Yeah. I wonder if this is what Ben's like when I'm not there and he goes out with his friends.
No, I think he's a
it.
quiet drunk.
No, yeah. Anyway, so the last animated classic that we spoke about was Saludos Amigos, wasn't it?
Yes,
before our
it was.
Christmas
Before
special.
our little Christmas special.
And we said how that was premiered in
Rio de
Janeiro.
Yeah.
So it was the first international premiere of a Disney film.
Outside of
the America,
yeah.
So, and this is the same. So this premiered in Mexico in December 1944.
Yes, and we had to wait until February in
the following year.
Yeah. Couldn't find out when UK residents would have seen it because in one place it says March and the other one it says May.
Yeah, I think obviously because of the war. Because I think for Britain it finished in May.
I think so. I keep thinking of Armistice Day in November, but
I know.
That's the...
Yeah, I'm sure it's May. And then, wasn't Japan later?
I'm not too sure. I know there was a bit of a...
There's a few months.
A gap.
Yeah, there's a few months and then it's... But anyway,
we
so
could
that
go
could
into
be
all
why...
the conspiracies
that
there.
could be why it has two possible release. Maybe they sensed that the war was coming to an end, so it was like, maybe certain parts of the UK got it in February and then other parts got it in March.
Maybe,
May.
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows
anyway,
on that one.
I couldn't find how much it cost, but I think it's because it was still part of that whole thing that we discussed with Saludos Amigos,
Well, we won't discuss again. You'll have to go back and listen to it.
Yes, listen to Saludos Amigos to find out the deal that was made with the government. But it did make 3.3 million.
That's more than what I thought it would make.
Yeah, which I think is quite good considering it's during a war.
Yeah. Do we think it's because with the war coming to a bit of an end, people wanted to go and do something?
Maybe
it was that because, people came home at different times and maybe it was just a reunited thing because it is a jolly film. It's not like
and
it's
it's
Bambi.
Celebrating a birthday. There's no deaths in it.
No. So it's
so spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah.
But hopefully you'll have watched it before listening to this podcast episode.
Yeah,
or at least have seen it.
It's been out nearly 80 years.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
So facts, fun facts.
Well, you touched on my first one. It is Donald's birthday, but in real life, it would have been his 10th anniversary.
Yes, I did.
You had that one. I stole
I did have that one as well. Yes.
I'll let you say.
I can't believe that that's all he was. Like, I always forget how much younger he is compared to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
because that would have made him, at least 7-8 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Which means he's not even at his 90th yet.
No, he's still young.
I know.
Still young.
So, I was really surprised that this was like to mark his 10th birthday sort of thing. And I was surprised that they had done this to mark his birthday, but they hadn't done anything to mark Mickey's 10th.
Not in the sense of a big...
feature
film or anything.
Yeah.
But it might have just been a way of linking those shorts together.
Yeah.
Because Saludos Amigos is the plane journey.
Yes.
That links them together. So maybe it was a case of, Donald was in that one. Donald's still popular. Mm-hmm. Let's get Donald in this one.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, maybe.
So.
Any other? You've got a lot more facts than I do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'll let you go through and I'll just chip in.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, you've probably got this one, but again, looking back, it makes sense that this is the first. But at the same time, I was like, oh yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So this is technically the first feature-length film to incorporate animation and live action together.
Oh, no, that's not what I had.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
And
mine's a different fact.
So, yeah, and when I was reading that, I was like, yeah.
Because thinking of it, I think, obviously you have Mary Poppins, which is about 20 years after this, but there is So Dear to My Heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I think
a couple of years later.
Yeah.
2, 3, that's 47 or 48.
Oh, I couldn't tell you the year, but...
I'm sure it's around, because it's the same boy in Song of the South, and that came out in 1947, I think. So it's round about that time, late 40s. So so that's obviously going to be next. But
I must admit, I was looking to see how they'd done it, because obviously technology now and technology like at the time of Roger Rabbit was different to technology in the 40s. So I was looking.
Yeah.
I think I get it. But then there were some bits where they were dancing and like these kind of either blue or purpley see-through-y bits came up. And I was like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
So, answers on a postcard.
Yes. But to be fair, I mean, I think you can tell it's...
Yeah, it's early days.
The early days of the...
I was still very impressed by it.
Yeah, there was bits. There's bits. There's one bit where I think it's Yaya, and she's walking, and Donald is alongside her, and the road is moving behind them, but they're really blurry.
Oh, okay.
Like Donald is, it's not clear. It's not as crisp as what she is. So, yeah, like, but then there's a couple of other bits that, like, for example, when she goes to kiss Donald.
Yes.
Which I think's really good. Like, she quickly turns her back so that he can't see her hands. But, you know, that would have been quite odd for her to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, imagine, like, somebody telling her, right, pretend you're kissing, you've picked somebody up and you're kissing them.
And they're a duck.
And they're a duck. It's Donald Duck. And I think she did really well, you know. Especially because she, you know, is, you know, South American. And, you know, the language barrier, you know, the fact that they managed to get the communication across in terms of directing her to do that, I think is what's more impressive than the animation, because unfortunately I think it is not great. It is noticeable. It's still
not as good.
Yeah.
I think what we forget is now, if someone gives a direction, you can go, oh, right, have you seen it in this film? Whereas there was nothing that she could relate to. And
as well, like, she would have only seen, or they would have only seen Donald Duck on the cinema, just like everyone else at that time. You know, trying to imagine how tall he is compared to her, the weight of him, those little things that they would have needed to think about doing this, because it's the first.
And then have to do it with the limitations of the technology as well, which is probably why she turns a little bit.
Yeah, she literally whips round and her back is facing the camera, which, you know, would have been a big no-no normally. Well, you know, having your back to the camera. But she has to do it that way so that you don't see that, because otherwise they would have needed to animate in her hands,
Yeah.
which they didn't have the technology for.
All
so
the
instead,
time.
she whipped round.
Yeah.
And all you do, I think you see his feet stick out a little bit, and then, you know.
But what's so good is that also looks like a gag.
Yeah.
So it's like a really clever way of doing it, because
Yeah.
it's like, well, it looks really funny as well.
Yes,
As
yeah.
well as hopefully being to make the shot
So what did you
better.
think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say it was the first sequel.
Would you class that as a sequel?
I don't.
But some people do.
But it is classed as the first sequel, yeah.
Oh, I've never read that before.
No,
And I wouldn't have.
No, I don't either. It's classed as the first
okay.
sequel, and I think it's more for the Jose bit.
Oh, yeah, because
obviously
obviously he's
it's
in
a follow-on
Saludos
from
Amigos.
that. But no, I still think the first sequel is the Rescuers Down Under, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Speaking of Yaya, did you have anything about her? The lady.
I got confused about which lady was which, because there was like 50 of them, and it's not my area of expertise.
She's the first one.
Is she one? Which one sings "You Belong to My Heart"?
That's at the end.
That's at the end.
Yeah, it's not her.
No, I don't have anything.
No, apparently she's the younger sister of Carmen Miranda.
Oh, okay.
Who was a famous singer. Yeah.
Oh.
I
know that the English lyrics for one of the songs, and I've been really clever and not written down which song.
Oh.
Was written by Ray Gilbert. And Ray Gilbert actually co-wrote Zippity Doo Dah.
Oh, okay.
And he also wrote lyrics and tunes for other smaller things for Disney and elsewhere. But that's the one that you mainly would know. Yeah. But the other song, You Belong to My Heart, was recorded by Augustin Lara, but was covered by Bing Crosby.
Wow. Of course, because back in those days, he would have been really big.
Yeah. Well, he appears in one of the Disney films a little bit later.
Yes, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that one, but I think when it comes to links and things, I think that's the very first kind of loose link to Bing Crosby that we'll see.
Because again, I'm sure, because it's one of my favourites, White Christmas, I'm sure that is early 40s.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was later 40s.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's definitely from the 40s.
Yeah, it's definitely 40s.
I know when
and I'm sure that was its peak.
I know when I was researching for a film, and this was for one of the essays, it was the original recording of White Christmas is lost.
What?
Yeah, so it's the one we listened to is a re-recording.
Well, I know he did it for Holiday Inn first, which came before White Christmas, but...
So the disc itself, because media was fragile.
Back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things would just wear away, and so it's lost. We can't hear that, I'm afraid.
Oh.
But the version we do hear, it has been re-recorded.
This is of Belong to My Heart. No,
White Christmas.
White Christmas.
Yeah,
all right, okay.
I have no other facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting back to Three Caballeros.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah.
Out of the wartime series, I read that this was the only one that was reissued.
Oh.
Yeah, so you know how they do their re-release in the cinema?
Yeah.
This was the only one. And it didn't happen until 1977.
No, although on the 9th episode of Disneyland television show, they reduced it, edited it right down, missed a few bits, the Christmas bit, the La Posada? The Christmassy nativity.
Oh, okay,
bit
yes.
They do anyway.
Yeah.
That was removed, and it was called A Present for Donald, and it was released in December. So it was actually not a birthday. It was Christmas present.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just proves my fact that this is a Christmas film.
No.
There's a Christmas section in it, and then they
tiny
edited
bit.
it. They re-edited it.
Tiny bit.
And they made it Christmas. It's a Christmas episode.
So, have you got any other... that I don't have any more. I couldn't really find much.
Well, we touched on a few other bits. For those that are looking for more facts about it, and I was very disappointed that it's not on Disney Plus. So Disney Plus people, get your finger out. It's a documentary called Walt and El Grupo, and it is about this film and Saludos Amigos, about how they made it. It's from about 2009.
Is it on your DVD?
No.
Oh, so it's not even on the DVD?
No. It was a separate documentary that they were done. So, but I would like to see it. So Disney Plus, get your finger out.
Yeah.
Next one is the Acapulco beach sequence, which we'll get onto a little bit more. Wasn't filmed in Acapulco. Either way, it wasn't filmed there. It was filmed in the parking lot of Disney Studios.
Oh my god.
Which isn't unusual. Studio parking lots double up for a lot of
that
things.
Sand.
Yeah. I think there's images as well of like photos and things. But yeah, it wasn't.
Oh.
No, in California.
Okay.
The other one, Pancitto. His name is in the opening credits. He's the only one of the three that has only got a singular name. Because you got Donald Duck and Jose. Mm-hmm. Last name.
Oh, I read that he had like 8 names.
He does, but he's only credited with the one in the opening credits. And he is never mentioned by name in the film.
Oh, so how do we know his name's Pancitto?
Just because it's on those opening credits.
Oh, okay.
It says star in, I think, and it's got the 3 of them. But yeah, never mentioned.
Oh. Is this because like they were in the comics before or something?
I think it's just... it's like, for example, you might have a Mickey Mouse cartoon, but you wouldn't necessarily have Mickey's name ever mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think it was just
must have been
on the
like
same
that.
line to
Yeah.
that. I have a few little bits. The almost like hidden Mickeys. This is one of the first films to have a hidden Mickey in it. Did you spot it?
No.
You didn't spot the hidden Mickey?
No. Why was it obvious?
In the beach scene.
Uh-huh.
And on the bucket, right at the front of the screen, is the silhouette of Mickey and Pluto.
No, I never spotted that.
Well, next time you watch it with the boys, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh my god. But also, obviously, we touched up on at the beginning that the Three Caballeros, they do feature in a lot of things, but the film isn't really featured anywhere.
No.
Do you know of anywhere that they're featured? I'm talking mainly about the parks.
Oh. But Three Caballeros? Well, they're in California, aren't they? They've got their own ride.
Florida, yeah.
I thought it was California.
No.
Oh, it's Florida.
Yeah.
That they have the Three Caballeros ride.
Yeah. So
is it in Epcot?
It is in the Mexican Pavilion. It's the magic carpet that they're on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Basically, it's all done on screens. Oh, I couldn't tell you that. But basically, you've got Donald and then the other two, and they're trying to follow Donald, ready for the celebration.
Okay.
And it's a boat ride. It's a little boat ride, and it's done with screens. And as you're passing, Donald kind of comes next to you with the screens.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good ride. It's a slow ride.
Okay.
There's nothing dramatic there, but yeah, it's fun. They appear as a topiary at Coronado Springs, and they're also a statue on the swimming pool at All Stars Music. In 2006 they became a meet and greet, which was at Epcot.
Okay.
And the Grand Fiesta Tour, which is the ride, was opened in 2007.
So it's not old then?
No, and actually, a bit of a thingy fact for us. When we first went to Florida, we Didn't know it was there.
Oh.
Because it's kind of down the side of a restaurant. And you're on like a gondola kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I didn't know it was there. It's a very mismatched, the Mexican. Because you go in and it's cocoa. And then you walk a bit further and it's like a Mexican marketplace.
Uh-huh.
And then you go a bit further and it's a big Incan tower. Like pyramid kind of thing. And that's the restaurant. And then there's a ride that goes past the restaurant. It's very mismatched.
Okay.
But it is all very, very nice. It also features on the updated It's a Small World. They appear in the Mexican bit. And one for you to look out next time you go to Paris. The Three Caballeros is a poster in Mickey's Magic.
Are they?
In the queue, yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Neither have I, to be honest with you, but
I know they're not in the Paris It's a Small World.
No, I think it's just the updates that they did in America for those.
Well, there is that series, that cartoon series.
That series.
Finley's watched that.
Yeah.
That was good.
I watched the first, because it's not a big...
Isn't it called something Amigos?
It's The Legend of the Three Caballeros.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It is good. I got a few through them.
Mm-hmm.
But we started watching the Mickey Mouse shorts instead, and we enjoyed them more.
Oh, right, okay. But they're not in them?
Yeah. Yeah, they feature in a Mickey Mouse short. They feature in DuckTales.
Yeah, I know they're in the new DuckTales.
They're in House of Mouse, because who isn't?
Oh, yeah.
They feature in a lot of places, a lot of films, but again, it's just the characters that appear, not necessarily any relation to the film.
No, which we talked about. In terms of the film itself, you never see anything that is to do, well, apart from the ride.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you'll see the characters, but, yeah. To be fair, I don't think any of these wartime ones are really featured in anything else. I would say Ichabod is probably the only one.
I was going to say, I think that's the only one that's kind of there. I think Fun and Fancy Free.
Oh yeah, Jack and the Beanstalk.
Mickey, because I didn't know that was part of another film. I thought that was like the Three Musketeers and Mickey's Christmas Carol. I thought it was like that.
Right.
Because that was always the book. Like, it was always Mickey and the Beanstalk. Mickey and the Beanstalk on video. And
yeah, I've definitely had that. I mean, I had this on video, and I was saying to Ben when we were rewatching it how I definitely watched this a lot when I was younger. I don't know how I ended up with it on video. And as well, the main song, Three Caballeros, is featured in a sing-along. And I used to know all the words. But when I was watching it today, it wasn't coming back to me.
I never watched it when I was younger.
I definitely had it on video somehow.
I think I know I got it on DVD. I know I had it on DVD, and I think because I don't think you can get it on Blu-ray.
I don't know. I don't think I tried to get it.
I think it was DVD, but that would have been when we were at the Disney store, because obviously I was trying to collect them all.
Yeah.
So that would be when I got that. The only other fact, and it is the last fact that I've got, my favourite segment actually was the Cold-Blooded Penguin section. Really enjoyed that. It was narrated by Sterling Holloway.
Yes.
Who we've spoken about before.
Yeah.
But I just found a little bit of a new fact about him that I didn't know. He was originally considered for the voice of Sleepy in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So we could have had him right at the beginning. But unfortunately we had to wait until Dumbo.
Yeah. I don't think he would have suited Sleepy. Because he doesn't have...
I don't know, if you think of Car in Jungle Book...
I don't know, I think... Because, Sleepy only has that one line.
And a yawn.
Yeah, he yawns and he says that one line, and it's when the animals have come back to the mine and they're trying to tell the dwarves that she's in trouble, and he has that one line. So, yeah, it would have been totally... I mean, maybe they'd planned to give him more lines, but he certainly didn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, it was Walt's... Yeah. Walt wanted to. That's what Walt was planning. And it was just changed later on.
Yeah.
But that is the last of my facts.
So now we can get in to what we thought of the film.
Yes.
My first thing was when it started.
Going first,
I found it really strange that it just starts. Like, you see the present, and there's no sort of introduction or a nice, like, smooth transition. It's just the present is there.
Yeah.
And it zooms on the present, and it, and then you hear Donald before you see Donald.
Yeah.
And I just found that, like, straight away I thought, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, the thing with me is when it first opened and when Donald reads the word, I found Donald quite difficult to understand in this one. And because he was speaking a different language as well, I just found it very, very difficult to kind of understand. If I'd not read about the film or watched it before, I wouldn't necessarily have been 100% what was going on until he read it in English, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even then, I just found him really difficult to understand what he was saying.
Yeah, I find him difficult to understand in this film, definitely.
I found some bits really funny when he's putting up the projector and the camera, and I liked all of that. The bit that I did actually laugh at, and I think this is the first time that I've laughed at something since rewatching all of these, is when the projection's on his backside. And he lifts his backside up so the projection's on the screen, and then he just gets on with his day and sits down. I did find that, I just found it quirky. I thought it was a funny gag, but I also thought it was unique as well, because I don't remember seeing that. So I was impressed by that bit. It was downhill from there, if I'm honest, though.
Oh, no, there are... I mean, well, the first segment...
Cold-Blooded Penguin.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one, and actually I could imagine at the early 2000s when they were doing those kind of films that weren't really based on anything, but were kind of... That could have been from that era.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have easily been made later and still been watchable. I didn't feel that was old.
No, it felt out of place though.
Yes, in regards to the film as a whole.
Yeah,
but it's because A, it's a penguin, and B, it starts in the South Pole.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that in the end, the point is
you get a bit of learning. You learn where there's the town that's dead on the equator.
Yeah.
And,
and that could be why they put it in there. It was like, oh, how can we show the map of South America?
Oh, how do we whack this in?
Yeah.
We've drawn it now.
I liked that the narrator of the film itself then introduces Sterling Holloway as Professor Holloway.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
I thought that was quite neat.
Yeah, and
for
then
what we know.
Yeah,
that
and
was
then
a good
obviously
Easter egg.
he narrates that segment.
Yeah.
And
his voice, I mean, we've spoke about this before, but his voice is just...
stands out.
Yeah, and it's Disney for that era. So,
yeah.
So I don't know whether that's why I enjoyed this segment more than the others. Again, I did think that after this segment, it just became a lot of different music and things to music, which I didn't like Fantasia, didn't like Saludos Amigos. So for me...
See, I felt that they achieved the music a bit more watchable.
Yeah.
In the terms of they were shorter.
Yeah.
And because I think like Donald was in it, it was more funnier.
I think they could have just mashed this
to keep kids' attention.
Yes, that was one thing that was
this definitely
missing
helped
from previous ones.
Yeah, this I felt definitely could keep. Well, the fact that Finley enjoys watching this one, so far out of all the films we've watched, Finley will watch this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is probably the oldest Disney film that Finley will watch outside of the cartoons.
Do you mean chooses to watch? Because I was there once when he put Snow White on.
Oh yeah, that was random, but I think that's just because we came back from Disney and he liked the ride.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he actually watched it.
No.
No. But in terms of he used to watch Three Caballeros a lot. I mean, he likes the DuckTales and he's watched that Legend of the Caballeros
and that's fun as well. I can never remember the name of that bird that just kind of, is it the UR bird or something that just jumps around making the noise.
Yeah, I wrote it down. It's the where is it? The Araquan bird. Yeah,
do you know what? That bird in the TV series, oh my God, does it get on your nerves? But it's a giggle moment.
Oh, when I watched this when I was a kid, he was my favourite.
Yeah.
Like, I would get the giggles whenever he came on the TV.
Yeah, you need to watch The Legend of the Three Caballeros as well then, because he's
I've watched some of them when Finley's watched it.
Just so random.
Yeah.
He just appears and it's like a Rick Astley moment. So...
I liked... well, we get into the all the birds after the penguin, which is when we're introduced to that bird.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
And you liked that bit, or did you not? I
just liked that bird.
Yeah. I liked how they spoke of all the different birds.
Yeah. Do you know what? It felt less like a lecture than Saludos Amigos.
Yeah.
That was a lecture. That was a school video.
Yeah.
This felt like a film. I think if they'd have missed out the penguin bit, which was actually my favourite bit, not tied it together with the birthday present and made it a long short about Donald's birthday, I think I'd have enjoyed it more.
Okay.
Because that would have made it a little bit more focused. Whereas I didn't really know what was going on here, because it went from story that had nothing to do with Brazil, really. And then there was the lecture about the different birds, and then the last part of that film is just them dancing.
Yeah, I mean,
for a good 40 minutes.
You think he's going to be told about like his ancestry? That's what I get the impression. Like when it starts and he's got the film reel, you think, because he's a duck, and and it's going to feature birds, and you think, are we going to learn? Is he going to learn like the bird family tree or something like that? But then, like you say, it does randomly start with the South Pole and penguins. Yeah. But and then obviously he does when the narrator, because we get back to the original narrator when it's the segment with the birds, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh my God! I was talking, and then it just fell out my head.
Straight. I tell you what, there was a point around this part when I was.
I remembered.
I'll let you go.
Cousin. He calls them his cousins, and his brother birds are his cousin birds. Okay. So you think, we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna learn about this bird family tree sort of thing, and it still doesn't get to that.
Just goes nowhere.
No.
He just starts dancing with a load of women.
But it focuses on that bird.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
But did you notice? And I wrote this down. When they're talking about the bird that builds the nest.
Maybe.
And then
I blocked a lot of this film out.
The Araquan bird gives him that one last stick, and when he pops it on the top, it collapses.
Yeah.
Did you not think that bird that was building the nest looked awful like Arthur when he's turned into a bird in Sword in the Stone? Or can you not remember?
I can't remember. One, I think I blocked this out, and two, I can't remember the bird section of... I remember the chipmunk and the fish, but I don't remember the bird section Sword in the Stone.
Well, that's how he ends up in Madam Mim's house. He's a bird.
I'm going to have to wait for the rewatch of that.
Oh, well, honestly, this bird that the narrator talks about, because he mentions how they're good builders or something, and he's building the nest, and then the Araquan bird hands him that one last twig, and it collapses. And the first thing I thought of was, he just looks like Arthur from Sword in the Stone when he's a little bird.
Well, around this point of the film, I
fell asleep.
I was triggered. I was completely triggered.
Okay.
Because just for those who have listened to them before, you may have noticed our sound going up and down. But there is a bit where it looks like the sound that when we're recording.
Yes.
And it's trying to get the right level of sound and everything like that. And I was like, someone's taking the mick out of me somewhere. Someone knew.
That's when Pancitto comes out,
yes,
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
what did you think of the flying donkey segment? I liked that one.
It was alright. Didn't know that burrito meant donkey.
Yeah?
Yeah. Which is weird, because now I wonder what's in a burrito.
Yeah. No, it definitely is beef and chicken, don't worry. Yeah, no, I liked that one.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that
the
was
penguin
sweet.
was my favourite one.
Yeah, I mean, I liked both of them. And then we get to Jose after this, and then it goes
on
into
the little
Brazil.
stage. What was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't really get. I kind of looked up from my phone. No, and it was small and on the stage.
It's the fact as well.
I was not on my phone.
He's described as a magician, Jose.
Yeah.
I thought that was bizarre.
I
was like, he does a little bit of magic
I wonder
in
if that's
regards
because
to
of comics.
Maybe he could do it more in there.
Yeah. I didn't get why he was that small and Donald was watching.
Isn't it because he's coming out of the book?
He is, yeah. Just that whole bit where it starts being a book. And then he makes
Donald small.
Yeah, that's where it lost me.
Oh.
That's where the film lost me. And then there's just a load of girls running around. That first
song, the Baya song, I did write, this is really slow, but the singer did have a nice voice. But then when it gets to the have you been to Bahia, like that's a good bit.
Yeah,
I like the song.
Is just a little random bit, is the way that it's spelt in the background. It can be spelt a different way.
Oh,
I think it's got H in it. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no, when that starts and they're dancing, it's catchy, it's fun, and it got my attention.
Yeah, no, it lost me. The film did lose me, and then there was just this cactus that turned into a cowboy woman, started dancing, and then other cactuses started moving. I was lost at that point. I was like, no, I'm done. Unfortunately, it lost me. Yeah, the penguin was good though.
Oh God, the penguin. Well, I put Yaya is gorgeous because I thought she was beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, all of them were. One of them, I know it's not, but one of them looked like the girl from. Is it Paramount? No, what's the
Columbia?
The statue? Yeah.
Yeah, the Columbia statue.
I did think that it looked like her. I know it's not.
No, we know it's not.
Yeah, we've spoke about that before, but I did see it and think, oh. But yes, very beautiful.
Yeah, and I did write that Donald and Jose dancing to the Three Caballeros, like you said, where you see the guitar and the music coming, that that it was very Fantasia.
Yeah.
And I think if Fantasia had been more fun like that, then it certainly would have been more watchable for kids.
Yeah. Well, we said in Saludos Amigos with that bit at the end, the thingy de Brazil or what?
Yeah.
That if Fantasia had been like that, we'd have enjoyed Fantasia.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you. And I thought the bit where the woman's dancing with Donald and was fun, but maybe it's because I was watching the two films so close together.
Oh.
It felt a bit repetitive of that, and again, it just went into song and dance and didn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, the ending does... Well, it just kind of ends, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like...
They're... Yeah, they have that weird...
That's where Donald passes out at the end of the night.
Yeah,
that's where that is, after the LSD.
So, speaking of Donald...
Yes.
His behaviour is...
The dirty little bugger.
I mean, and you know when I was Googling to make sure I hadn't missed any facts, it did come up a lot about that, and apparently that's what most people discuss now about that film is Donald's behaviour. It
did go a bit Benny Hill, I'm not going to lie, especially on the beach where there was no men on that beach.
No.
I looked, there was there were no men on that beach. At least
with the ya-ya bit, you had the male dancers and and they did the sort of bird dance that they showed.
Yeah, I didn't mind.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then you saw Donald get a bit jealous. But then I think they took it too far when every segment that had a girl in it, he became almost like...
Benny Hill.
Yeah, it was that caricature wolf.
Yeah. It
with
wasn't
the eyes
good.
Popping and the wolf whistling.
Yeah.
It was
I think that was another thing that lost me as well.
Which is such a shame, because obviously I never noticed as a kid.
No.
That didn't really mean anything to me as a kid. But now I'm a grown woman and I'm watching that. Okay, it's not gonna put me off watching it.
No.
But it was it just got, oh God.
It went on. I think if it was shorter, not that I'm
just
condoning
the ya-ya bit.
I'm not condoning behaviour or anything like that before you get onto Twitter and cancel me. But but I think if it had been shorter, because it's clearly a gag.
Yeah, and I think they made the point with the ya-ya bit, but
it was explaining the gag.
And on. No. Yeah. And yes, the beach scene, unfortunately, to me, it did spoil it. And then when...
I didn't get why they were there either.
No. And again, when Jose and Pancitto take him out of the book and he tries to go back in and then they use the rope to get him, because you're really taking it too far now.
Yeah.
And what surprised me was that Walt approved that.
Yeah, because...
And yet he doesn't come across as that type.
Well, I think...
And they don't put that humour in anything else.
No, I think they just ran that joke too long, and I think that's why we probably don't see it in other things, because Walt was a perfectionist.
Yeah. Hopefully he saw it and thought, no.
Yeah, and thought it just needs to be got rid of. We don't do that.
One last thing before we give our score.
Yeah.
I did snap this on my phone because it was just too long to write. And it is kind of a fact, actually, because I've just remembered. So, and it is from IMDb. It's my go-to for facts.
So sue them is what you say.
But we were speaking obviously about this being most notably the first feature length that involves live action and animation together in the story.
Yeah.
But as we also said, how the quality was not there, you could tell that it was the first.
Yeah.
However, in a according to IMDb, in this fact, that ironically, though they didn't do it very well, the same year that it was released in America, so that like 1945, MGM also realised the potential of this sort of technology and made the film Anchors Aweigh. Now you'll know what I mean when I describe the scene.
Okay.
It is Gene Kelly.
Oh, with
Jerry.
Jerry
from Tom and Jerry.
Yes.
And that won the Oscar.
That is really good, though. That is.
Did it win the Oscar? Oh, maybe I just made that.
Do you know what? Even if it didn't, it deserved it.
Yeah, and in the fact, it said that, because obviously Disney paved the way for a lot of technology when he started doing these films.
Yeah.
But in regards to this one, he didn't get there. And the fact that another studio beat him to this technology in regards to making it feel like they're in the room together.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it really
the difference.
is. Yeah.
And again, it was that Anchors Aweigh. I watched that loads when I was a kid. With my grandma.
I've never seen it, but I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
I've also seen the clip that they did on Family Guy when it's Stewie dancing with him.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Again, that was really good.
Yeah. So the fact says, in comparing that number, it's clear that the characters never truly look like they're sharing the same frame in the Disney effort.
No, they don't.
Because that's it. They were saying that the quality of the animation significantly distorts whenever the live action figures are in the front, which is what I was saying. So that scene when Yaya is walking, and it's as if they're walking along the road, and Donald and Jose is clearly the animation is at the back, but they're supposed to be as if they're walking alongside her, and it looks really blurry.
Do you know, it's really weird that this way round they struggled, but they did the Alice shorts, like...
I know.
About 20 years before then.
I know.
And, okay, they're of the time. They're not... But
maybe because it was black and white.
Yeah, maybe it just...
didn't... Nobody really noticed.
No.
But this was colour, and it was Technicolor.
Yeah.
So I guess... And, like you said, it's 20 years, and yet they still hadn't managed to improve it. But yet another studio... I think this is like one of those times, and we'll probably... We'll have this conversation quite a lot as we get further along the line of films. But this is probably the first example of when Disney, the studio, allows another studio to then set the bar. Now, it doesn't happen often in Disney's
Oh, Jamie, what do you mean it doesn't happen often?
But when it does happen...
The 80s.
It's bad.
The early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, like I say, we'll get to that.
Now.
Yeah. We'll get to it. But yeah, I feel like they're there for a while, and then all of a sudden, they just leave a gap.
Yeah.
And somebody always is there waiting for them to make that mistake or make that poor choice, and they swoop in and they do it better. Yeah. And this, I think, is the first of that instance that we're going to witness quite a lot.
I mean, I still felt the process, the technology, the creativity behind it was really good.
Oh,
and there was
some
still
of the
bits that I
background
was
work
like,
was amazing.
Don't know how they've done it. But now you've just mentioned the Gene Kelly and Jerry Mount. I mean, what were they? Just a few months apart?
Yeah.
So they've got no excuse at that point.
No. Yeah, and they can't blame the war.
No.
Because, like we've said, they were made the same
Do you
time.
reckon more money was thrown at Gene Kelly rather than Disney, because Disney was obviously at this point could have gone bankrupt. They could have gone bankrupt.
Yeah, it could have gone. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, obviously MGM is one of the originals.
Yeah, and they, because of their films, if you look at the films that were brought out around that time, yes, okay, the war happened, but they were still able to make.
Yeah, and because they were making live action films, they hadn't. But yeah. I know, when I read that, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that they were the same year.
Yeah.
And such a shame. But, we know
it got better.
It did get better. It does get better.
Oh, it does. I mean,
and we know that Disney is a perfectionist, and that he obviously would have been really annoyed at seeing that Gene Kelly dancing with Jerry and looking amazing as if they are together.
Yeah.
In the same, like, on set.
Yeah. It really is a really good moment.
Yeah. So, out of 5?
2.
A 2.
Yeah, unfortunately. I really, really did like that penguin bit, and I actually do think that could have been it still could be a film now, with a lot more humour in there, have a little bit of danger. And actually do something with the story. I did like the concept of a penguin wanting to go to a hotter place and trialing it out. But the rest of it, no, sorry.
I'm gonna go with a 3 because
you do you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna go with a 3 because I can sit and watch this. And I love that Finlay enjoys watching this. Obviously, nostalgia has a big influence on my score because I definitely remember watching this a lot when I was a kid. I really like the animation in this. I don't think it's as weak as Dumbo's animation. But what helps Dumbo is the story. I thought it was about the
same as Dumbo.
Oh, no, I think because of some of the background artwork.
I suppose, the artwork, yeah.
And I liked the singing. I liked, that we're seeing the live action and the animation together.
Yeah.
And apart from a few slow moments in between the segments, luckily I felt the segments were strong. So the penguin, the birds, the guachito, guachito.
Go on.
I think it's guachito. So the flying donkey.
Yeah. Burrito.
Yeah. And the Three Caballeros song. Okay, when they then go on the rug and they're flying around, that's when I'm lost. And it's like, oh, this is such a shame because it was...
It's a night out. It's a night out and it just goes wrong. That
should have been a lot shorter.
A lot of it should be a lot shorter.
Yeah, because it's an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
This could have been easily 45.
Yeah, I think you could cut out a good half an hour of that film and it would have been such a strong film then. I think I might have scored it higher. But because I only enjoyed that one segment and everything else was just meh to don't like this.
It's one of those, I think, as well, it doesn't... Like, you can easily take the segments out, and I've probably seen the segments in other things, like, without seeing the in-between and not needing to see the in-between.
No. I mean, that's kind of what all the wall shorts are like, really. But, yeah.
Okay. But, so you're a 2, and I'm a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as harsh as you. But
I wasn't being harsh.
I could watch it. That's the difference.
Yeah, you see, I couldn't. That's the thing is with these wall shorts is some of the I don't know. I call them shorts because this one's longer than Dumbo. But the thing is with it is I would never choose to sit and watch them apart from Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Okay.
Fun and Fancy Free, I can watch the segments
Yeah.
But I won't sit and choose to watch it as a whole film. But yeah, so I think that's why I'm just not bothered. At this point, I'm waiting to get to the
Cinderella.
50s. Yeah, basically.
Well, we can't wait to find out what other people think of these wartime shorts or these wartime features. So please, send us an email, comment, you can find us on Instagram and
what was that?
Threads.
Threads. Are you mentioning Threads?
Yes, we are on Threads.
Yes.
So it's at the Jamie and Stephen Show. It's at the Jamie and Stephen Show on Instagram and Threads. You can email us at the Jamie and Stephen Show at outlook.com. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, leave us a review.
Yes.
Yeah, because that will help us.
And there's another website that they'll be able to check us out.
Oh, yeah. So we'll be putting this on YouTube.
Yes.
So by the time you're listening to this, our YouTube will already be up.
Yeah.
So you can also watch us on YouTube. So for those who don't have a Spotify account or Apple, you'll be able to
check us out there as well.
On YouTube. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. That's not the only times they can see us. You've got your YouTube account as well.
Oh yeah.
Your personal one, so make sure you give that a watch as well as you watch Jamie travel around to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, so my Disney trips, yes, that's at Family Magic UK.
And that's all we've got. I don't do anything else other than this.
Hope everyone had a good Christmas.
And a good New Year as well.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, I think, this was a Christmas film. So I think
it's not a Christmas film.
It was...
What's the next one?
No, I've got a feeling it's Make My Music or Melody Time.
Okay, we can't remember, but it's one of the two.
We can never remember.
It's basically another one like this.
Yes, and...
Yeah,
I think that'll be the whole of January.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Don't blame us. Blame Walt Disney.
Unless you love them and enjoy them, then fab.
Yeah, get yourself some help and...
No, some of them are good. And it wouldn't do if we all liked the same things. So
no.
Yeah, we're still friends and we don't always like the same things. So
we haven't got to Mulan yet. There'll never be a Tarzan podcast.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.